Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 105. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane freaking Cody. How you doing, bud?
Cody. Not too bad. How about you, man?
I'm doing real well. I'm tired. I was up in the middle of the night last night, but
Having babies will do that.
yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. It's not really funny, but she wasn't sleeping. It was like 3 a.m, and I'm walking around the house with her in my arms because she was like wide awake. And I'm just like, oh, God damn it. And just walking around in the dark. And it's surprising. Your eyes adjust so well to your home or just to darkness. Like when you first turn the lights off, I was like, oh my God, I can't see anything. But when it's the middle of the night, it's surprising how bright your home actually is.
Oh, yeah.
When your lizard eyes kick in. It was really weird, though, because there was these headlights. Like, there's like a kind of like a street across street. Not quite facing my house, a little bit over. It's just a tiny little cul-de-sac that goes up to like a couple houses by my house. And I guess someone was parked there, so their headlights were pointed towards my home. And I'm like, oh, it's freaking weird. It's like 3 a.m. And I just see like this light flickering around. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go like to my spare room, which I have blinds in. And I just kind of do like, the peeping Tom flip through the through the blinds. And there's like this lady running around with a flashlight. And I'm so confused.
Like, is she looking for an animal or something? Like,
well, no,
she was a kid.
She ran to the front door of the house across the street from me, and I'm like, this is just kind of weird. And she like checking front doors, trying to break in. Like, I don't know if she was old, but it definitely was a lady.
Right.
It wasn't a lady. It was a really weird looking dude then. But anyway, it
could have been somebody checking front doors. Hey, see if anybody leaves theirs open.
But it's not like she was being sneaky or anything. So I was just kind of freaked out. Like, that's weird. And then, of course, the headlights, are gone and she's gone. And I'm like, I didn't know what it was. And then when I went to work this morning, so I was just kind of up for a bit, like peeping out the windows for a while, just because, like, okay, this is really weird, dude. And then I'm like, hey, I haven't seen any lights. There's no flashlight in the neighborhood anymore. Put the baby down, go to bed. But this morning when I go to work, I noticed, looking at the neighbor's house, there was a newspaper in the mailbox. And I'm like, they were delivering the newspaper.
Oh,
like the daily paper. And I'm like, holy crap, 3 a.m?
Yeah,
because if
you've got a big area and you're dropping them off to lots of places, that makes sense.
They weren't doing weird shit. It just looked weird, because you're just thinking bad immediately.
Right.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of weird.
It's the world we live in, right?
So I've slept for 4, maybe 6 hours. So, the older you get, the less sleep you need. I find.
You think so?
I don't know. I'm not really tired, but
I'm in this spot in my life now where 8 hours is perfect for me. I want 8 hours, and I've found that what happens now for me is if I go to bed, pretty much doesn't really matter what time, I will sleep for 8 hours and then I'll wake up. And that's so on the weekend, if I go to bed late, I'll probably sleep for 8 hours and then wake up. If I go to bed at 11, I'll wake up at 7. If I go to bed at 9, I'll wake up at 5.
I think that's
it's just kind of where I'm at in my life now.
Yeah, I think my natural alarm clock is set to that as well. 7, 8. I don't know. It just depends.
Between 7 and 8 hours now. Like even on the weekend, we can stay up till midnight, and I'll probably be up at around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
With no alarm.
Sometimes a little bit later, if I'm really tired. Or I've been missing some sleep for a few days.
Or you've been drinking.
Yeah. But generally speaking, I get my 8 hours and I wake up, and that's pretty much that.
So welcome everybody to the Sleep Podcast, where we talk about our sleep patterns and weird stuff happening out in the neighborhoods on the Block Watch. No, just kidding. Welcome everyone. If you haven't been here before, this is a video game podcast. We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. So A lot of video games, a lot of tech, a lot of PC, PlayStation 4, yada yada, comic books, and so forth. Before we get into that, we talk about what we've been playing, get in some news, public service announcements. Sometimes we have some free-for-alls where we talk about our random stuff. And even before all the sleepy talk, we start with our designated drinking section because, like I said before, you can't be a geekaholic without being an alcoholic.
Yeah. And that's my it might be my favorite part of the show.
I think you've said that before. It's a good part of the show when I take part.
It is.
And I have been getting better.
Are you drinking tonight, Rick?
Yes. Nothing fancy.
So what are you drinking tonight?
Long Island iced tea.
Very nice.
I'm going on I'm going on vacation, and it's just and it's super sunny today, and it's like drinking juice, and I'm a total bitch alcoholic. So
you got to make sure it tastes good.
Yeah, it's got to taste like candy for me.
Yeah. I'm drinking some Basil Hayden's bourbon.
Basil Hayden's.
It's delicious bourbon.
What is it?
Good. It's from Kentucky, man. Kentucky bourbon. Basil Hayden.
For some reason, I thought it was German.
Nope. It's that straight Kentucky bourbon. I think it has to be made in Kentucky in order to be called bourbon to begin with.
Yeah, I'm going to show some of my ignorance here.
Yep.
Sorry, American listeners. Is Kentucky a city or state?
It's a state.
Okay. I couldn't remember because I wasn't sure if that was so. Where in Kentucky is that from? Do you know?
I'm not sure. To be totally honest with you, I mean, Kentucky's not a massive state, but I know that the bourbon producing areas are definitely Kentucky. That is kind of the big. Just in case you're not aware, Kentucky's just north of Nashville, Tennessee. If that helps you at all, I don't know if it does.
I'm looking at a map. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Kentucky.
Yep.
Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi.
Yep, over there, nestled in between Missouri and Virginia. Capital is Frankfurt, which is kind of hilarious. There's that German name for you.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, so.
No, it just made me think because I've been hearing, not hearing, you don't hear shit you read on the internet. I've been seeing a lot of posts on Twitter lately about people talking about this podcast, S-Town.
Oh, okay.
It's from the guys that do This American Life and Serial. Apparently very big, huge, popular podcasts that have kind of blown up. They're not like topical podcasts. They're more stories, investigative stuff. I've never listened to Serial or This American Life, so I don't know what they're about. But S-Town kept popping up in my in my Twitter feed, and I'm like, I guess I gotta check this fucking thing out. It's like 7 episodes. I don't know how long it is. I want to say it's probably at least 14 hours long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I powered through it in like 2 days on the weekend. I was like super addicted. It is very interesting. It's actually quite fascinating. It was about a dude from, I think it was Alabama.
Yeah.
And they called it, S-Town stands for Shit Town. I can't remember the exact name of the damn city. But it's really cool. It's about this guy that reached out to this reporter. It's like, hey, this kid killed some kid and the cops are covering it up, and I'm sick of this shit. And he's like the rich, they're the rich family in town, and shit town's like a bunch of racists, and I hate this place, and I'm sick of this stuff. And turns out this guy was a pretty John was his name. he was quite the eccentric dude. He was in his 40s, and he worked on clocks.
Okay.
And apparently he was like a master at working on like very rare and expensive clocks. He was super conspiracy theory, global warming, all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
It was really fascinating. I couldn't stop listening.
Wow. That's cool.
Such a cool story. And like, it starts out with one thing and it turns into something totally different. It was really cool. It was almost like watching a movie.
Wow.
It was,
but in audio form?
In audio podcast form. So, really neat, story, and definitely a neat character. It's, if you like that kind of stuff and are wanting to hear a cool story about a really interesting person and an interesting, it's fascinating. I loved it. I couldn't stop listening.
Wow. That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I powered through that. Anyway, Kentucky reminded me of that.
Sweet.
I don't think there'll be another series to it because the story wraps up. That's pretty.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing, like what happens to the people and so forth. And it's just truth. Like it's not made up. It's almost like documentary-ish as well. So, because the reporter was like, recording the people who he was meeting and the people in this town and, getting to know people in this town and so forth. So
it's essentially almost like investigative reporting that he's done on audio form.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, totally off topic, off the track. I guess I could say that for free for all, but your Kentucky alcohol reminded me of, the down south. Must be insulting so many people. Like, that's a terrible American accent, you jackass.
It was pretty bad.
So, I guess we can get into what you've been playing this week.
Yeah.
I've actually played some new shit.
Whoa.
And I've played some old shit.
Me too.
Obviously,
I just realized there was something else that I totally forgot to put on here, but that's okay.
Yeah, what have you
been playing?
Nobody wants to hear about old shit. We're all about the new shit.
It's new old shit.
I'm just kidding. I think I talked about picking up Nier Automata. Is that what it's called?
Automata.
I know
Automata.
Yeah, whatever.
Automata, Nier Automata.
I don't even know.
It's that new Nier game. That one from Japan.
Nier Automata. I don't even know the games that I own. 88% on Metacritic. 9 out of 10 on Steam. 9 out of 10 GameSpot.
Did you get it on PS4 or
I got it
PC?
On PS4.
Okay.
Because it was on sale on Amazon, and I think I also mentioned that. It was like $49.
I think you did. Yeah.
And again, speaking of Twitter, this was another one that kept popping up in my Twitter feed. People are like, this game's awesome. This game's cool. This game's insane. The story's insane. You gotta play it. So I finally pried myself away from Persona 5. And played another Japanese video game because, I'm Japanese now. I only play Japanese games. And I only watch anime. Everything else is like inferior.
Right.
So bad. Anyway, I've only played about 2 hours of it, so I'm relatively early.
Okay.
It's a pretty neat game.
I mean, I hear that game has got a lot of replayability due to the way that the game just kind of works.
Well, yeah.
Because it's got something like, 26 endings?
I've heard it has a bunch of endings. It's also like one of these games that it's like a bunch of games. It's a top-down shooter, like bullet hell shooter.
Because I played the demo. They released a demo a while ago on PS4.
Yeah, and I think the demo only shows the fighting and some of the platforming.
No, it did some of the top-down shooting.
Did it do
as well.
some of the top-down shooting? Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I never played. I started the demo and then something interrupted me and I never got back to it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like an open world, in quotation marks, role-playing game that is also a bullet hell shooter, top-down shooter, side-scrolling platformer, side-scrolling beat-em-up. Like, it just,
Wow.
it's always changing as you go through the levels. Giant boss battles.
It's the demo ended after the first giant boss battle that was massive. So I definitely got a little bit of all of
I'm
that.
guessing the demo ends
wow.
with that like oil tanker boss. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's essentially like that's the first stage, missing some introductory lead up parts.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
It's a pretty neat game. I like it.
From what I had played, I was like, "Holy crap, this is great! Sign me up."
It's got a
I totally want to
really
play more of
cool
this.
style. It's super smooth. It plays really tight. The combat could maybe be a little more in depth. It's no Ninja Gaiden or Bloodborne or Dark Souls or whatever.
Right.
Because I think you get all the moves that you get from the get-go. I don't know. Like I said, I'm only a couple hours in, so I don't even know if you unlock more moves and stuff for the combat. But yeah, it's really neat. Machines have taken over the Earth. Humans have essentially left Earth and are like on the moon or in like
Space.
Yeah, space stations essentially, and you play the role of these like I guess they're androids.
Yeah, the main character,
2B.
she's an android
Yeah.
that was created essentially to go back down to Earth and try and
She's
kind of reclaim it.
yeah,
if
she's
you
a
will.
combat unit. And 9S is one of the other characters. He's the male character that you meet early on.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more because, like I said, there's RPG and open world sections in this. So I imagine there's like hub city. Well, there's the base, but I think there's more like hub areas as well. And yeah, you're like a combat unit. She's a combat unit. And yeah, like you said, you are essentially going on missions to kill the robots on Earth, to take it back, to make it habitable again for humankind, because they've essentially been pushed off the Earth.
Right.
I'm not too far in the story. People say the story gets pretty freaking heavy.
Yeah, because from what I've heard, it's a little crazy to begin, just because it's essentially aliens send down some stuff that essentially takes over the Earth, which then we leave, and yeah, it gets pretty wild from what I understand.
I think apparently it touches on like what it means to be alive, what it means to be a human, all this kind of like really interesting topics, but I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know how good any of that is.
Fair enough.
And like I said, I've only played for 2 hours, but what I have played, I do think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely not for everyone.
I got that feeling.
I don't know what would be the closest thing to compare it to. I guess if you like the Bayonetta style, like Platinum style games.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is, isn't it?
Or Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, it's Platinum, published by Square Enix. So if you're into the Platinum games, then it's going to be like in your wheelhouse, like right up your alley. If you don't like those Bayonetta games and those weird Japanesey action adventure story type games, it might not be for you. But
that's fair.
It's pretty neat. I enjoy it. Man, it's really hard to get away from Persona 5. It's really hard.
I really want to play Nier. It looks super cool. It looks like something like right up my alley.
Yeah, I know you like the Bayonetta game. Like I played and beat the first Bayonetta. I never played the second one, which is like a huge glaring hole in my catalog.
Yeah, no, I've owned it got it on the Wii U here. That's one of the reasons my Wii U still hooked up.
Yeah, so this is, definitely for you. I do enjoy it. Maybe when I finish it, you can borrow it if you don't end up getting it on crazy sale one day.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm more or less in a weird spot because I kind of want to get it on PS4, but I kind of want to pick it up on PC because it's significantly cheaper. But I've heard the PC port isn't awesome.
Yeah, because I think someone made a patch, like a third-party patch, to fix a lot of stuff, which is like, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so fix your damn game. This is PC, man. We should have these settings and these options, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
So cool so far. If I can break away from playing freaking goddamn Persona 5, I will play some more. I'm like upwards in the 50-hour mark on Persona 5.
Already?
I don't know how.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
And then the other game I played, which I just picked up the other day, was Puyo Puyo Tetris on the Nintendo
got another
Switch
game.
So I bought that digitally. Like I said in the past, I'm going all digital on Switch. I'm not effing around with carts. Screw that shit. That's a waste of time. And actually, the eShop version is $15 cheaper than the physical one.
What?
I tried buying it digitally at the store because I wanted to have credit all over the place. I got credit at EB. I got credit at Best Buy.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to buy like a digital code for it, but no one sells a digital code for it. I guess I could have bought...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I could have bought eShop bucks or whatever, but I didn't do that. And when I got home, I went on the store, and it was $39.99. I'm like, oh, fucking sweet, because it's $54.99 for the cartridge version. It's like,
whoa.
I know, like, what?
I mean, I get that the cartridge is going to cost a bit more money or whatever, but
yeah,
man,
that's dumb.
Wow, seems... Because, I mean, this is not like a brand new game for the Switch.
Yeah,
Isn't this a re-release from Japan?
Well, it's new for the Switch, but I believe it's been out on PS4 before, like other iterations of this.
Right.
This is the newest game of the Puyo Puyo Tetris series. There definitely have been other ones. For anyone who doesn't know what Tetris is, you don't play video games. Puyo Puyo, on the other hand, you might not know what that is. The easiest thing for people to understand what it is, it's kind of like Dr. Mario, but with little jelly creatures instead of pills. And you're matching colors and rotating them, just like the pills in Dr. Mario.
Right.
I think English versions of this game might be, I think Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on Sega Genesis.
Oh, wow. We're going way back.
Yeah, is a take on Puyo Puyo. I could be totally freaking wrong, though, so,
Fair enough. Because this has been a series in Japan for quite a while.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I don't know how long, but it's definitely been in Japan. I'm just looking on Wikipedia here when the first one came out. Puyo Puyo Tetris, published by Sega in the Sega Ages series in 2006.
Okay.
It's a
maybe not on the Genesis.
So it's a fusion of the two games. Puyo Puyo has been around in Japan forever, for a long time.
Right.
And obviously Tetris is the North American... Well, everyone knows it's not North American, I would say, predominantly, but Tetris is pretty popular here.
Tetris was created by a Russian dude.
Yes. What was his name? I want to say Alexei something.
I think you're right.
Can't remember his last name.
Alexei something. Can't remember his last name either.
Alexei something, the Russian. And that's not a Russian accent. So, Jesus Christ.
You're just bad with the accents
I can't do Russian. Russian's really hard. Like I hear it in my head, but it doesn't come out of my mouth.
It doesn't come out that way?
No.
Yeah, I've got some accents when I try to do them that turn out like that.
And I'm not gonna do it. So anyway, it's got versus mode, an arcade mode, a story mode, up to 4 players on the Switch. Like I said, you could play strict Tetris. You could mix between the two. You can play against someone who's playing Puyo Puyo, and you can play Tetris. There's modes where it's the fusion mode. It switches back and forth like while you're playing.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Obviously, depending what you're playing, it affects what junk blocks you send to the other player. So if they're playing Puyo Puyo, they get the randomized blocks that you have to clear Puyo Puyo's adjacent to clear, like not just lines. And if you're like playing against a Tetris, or if you send junk to a Tetris player, they get like junk lines at the bottom of their pile, which pushes their pile up when you're playing versus. So very similar to the the old combat or versus modes in every Tetris game up until this point, except that they're mixing the two games a bit.
So I'm just looking at it kind of online right now. So is it always 2-player and one player plays Tetris and the other player plays the Puyo Puyo?
No, it's random. You choose what you want to do. You can just play like arcade mode, and there's like characters, and depending on who the character is determines what game type they play, and who you pick determines what you play. So it's kind of got like a Street Fighter-esque arcade mode where you just keep doing battles and up until the end. And then there's
I see what you're saying. And there's actually, it crosses itself over.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's Tetris pieces mixed in with the actual Puyo Puyo pieces.
I don't know if they mix them together. Are you looking at pictures of that?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far or had that happen to me because you'll see the 2 play fields where it has the different games. There is a mode there. That must be a different versus mode I haven't played yet, where it actually does mix Tetris blocks and Puyo Puyos. I haven't played that mode yet.
Cool. This game looks good. Are you playing it predominantly single player, or are you playing
right now? I'm playing single player, but the plan is to play it with my wife on the plane or when we're having downtime on our vacation. Or she loves Tetris, right?
Right.
So it's more for us to play, and I bought it on the Switch because of the easy portability. And it's
you can hand her one of those sweet Joy-Cons.
And it's a cool game. Yeah. Like and the campaign mode has different challenges. You're not just doing the same thing like in arcade mode. Some of the objectives will be clear this many lines in this much time, or get this score in this time, and so forth. There's different challenges, like like in the fighting game, like story modes and stuff, which is kind of neat.
Right.
It's got like voice acting, really silly anime, kids laughing and giggling and running around. It's cool.
How's the music? Because let's be honest,
it's got the classic.
Tetris
Tetris.
Solid.
It's got the classic Tetris music. Totally. It's a little remixed, a little modernized, but it's the Tetris music. It's great. It's
that's good to hear.
And like I said, you could just play if you just want to play Tetris. It's a good version of Tetris. And there's tons of modes for $40. I think it's $29 in America, and I think their physical version is, I want to say,
cheaper than ours.
I think it's 40 or 45. It's the same. It's more expensive, obviously. Yeah, tons of people have imported this game for PS4 because it had all English menus.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it had English voice acting, but because obviously the PS4 is region free, a lot of people imported this game last year who couldn't wait because we've never had a version before.
Right.
This is one of those Japanese games that people have fallen in love with and have imported for years, and now finally we have it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited to play some 4 players, with my wife and brother and sister-in-law. I've only had it for a couple days, so I haven't had that chance.
So what you're saying is we're going to be playing this at PAX probably.
Oh, absolutely. And
so what you're saying is I better buy it now so that I can brush up on it so that I don't suck at PAX?
Nah, you can wait. I don't know if it'll go on sale ever, but you might maybe find it on sale. I would say you have to rush out and get it. I love Tetris, and I love
Tetris too, and I am looking for something else besides just Zelda to play on my
I've played the
Switch.
Puyo Puyo games in the past, on other systems, so I like Puyo Puyo as well.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Mario Kart, that comes out in a couple days.
It does. I'm super on the fence if I want to get that or not.
Oh, I'm getting it.
I don't own it for Wii U, so I'm tempted to pick it up because this is...
Well, if you had to make a decision between Puyo Puyo and Mario Kart, I'd probably go Mario Kart. But if you're not dying for a game, you don't have to pick up either because we have so many freaking games. I just have I have a problem and I have to have everything, so...
Yeah.
It's not a good problem to have either. I'm just hoping that it is available like Thursday night at 9 p.m. so I can get it that night. Again, I will be going digital. Everyone who has early copies loves it. It plays dope. It's 1080p 60. It's got all the added content. Mario Kart 8 was freaking great. This is going to be a lot of fun on trips.
I heard they really went a long way to fix the battle mode in the new one.
It actually has a proper battle mode. That was like a huge mistake on Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Battle mode was just on the tracks, which is stupid.
Right.
Like, those tracks are so big, and it didn't make for confined spaces where you would battle, so it was just a huge failure anyway.
Right.
If we record next week, I say if, everyone, because I'm going on vacation. We haven't figured out for certain whether we're going to be able to record or not while I'm gone. But our next episode, for sure, whenever it is, we'll definitely be talking about Mario Kart. So that's what I've been playing. Seriously, it's like PS2 era, and all I'm doing is playing Japanese games. I eat ramen. And
I feel like we've gone back to my childhood, and now we're back then.
I wear a high school uniform every day.
Oh,
and my life is now an anime.
Weird, because you're long out of high school by now.
It reminds me, all these Japanese games reminds me so much of when I ran the video game store, because that's like when we were importing PlayStation 1 games. And PS2 came out, and that's all it was. That's before the Western games really got huge. And, in Japan, JRPGs and so forth was like they
were huge.
They own the industry, right? And this just reminds me of that era of gaming. It's almost like, it's weird. It's like a flashback, but it's nice.
Yeah.
You beat Call of Duty Infinite Warfare?
I did. It's out of my way now.
Nice. Now
I have moved on.
Now you can throw it in the garbage.
Yep, I think I've already uninstalled it. I knew I wasn't going to play the multiplayer, so I figured what was the point in keeping it on there.
We should have played some zombies.
I don't care about the zombies. I am tempted to install the remaster of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
I never played that.
Because
I had it.
That game was awesome, and I own it, and it's there.
That
I
game
could
is
install
awesome.
it.
That is a good game, actually.
Yeah, so I may still do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Wait another month or two, and there's a lull.
Yeah, exactly. That game was great. Like I think we've said before, and you were saying one of your favorite Call of Duty campaigns.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it didn't do as well at retail, and because I thought that campaign was fantastic. I liked the way it wrapped up, but I'm also very partial to sci-fi.
I thought it was great. I really liked it. I will go as far as to say that if I had to pick one, I would definitely say I feel like Titanfall 2 was the better game. But that being said, this is definitely one of the top 3 single-player Call of Duty campaigns, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
It was really well done.
Yeah, that sucks.
I felt like it was longer than a lot of the other games as well. Like I feel like this was like 8 or 9 hours versus the usual like 4 to 6 that they normally are.
Oh, I think it's even longer than that.
Yeah, because I mean, I did all the side stuff before I dove into the final missions that were there. Ends super well. Glad that they ended it the way they did and didn't sort of, I mean, I won't totally spoil it for people, but glad that they ended it the way they did. Has a good ending.
Yeah,
the only thing I did find that was kind of interesting is that at the beginning of the game, they have one of the generals that you are up against, and he seems like a real a-hole. And I was kind of surprised because you sort of take him out surprisingly early in the campaign. Like, I thought that there was going to be this big standoff between me and him, like in a lot of the previous Call of Duty games were. And yet in this, it was a little bit anticlimactic, where I felt like I kicked his ass and that was that. And then I still had a quarter or more of the game left over against more or less a faceless enemy. And it was kind of a weird design, I thought. That after that, because up until that point, he is that asshole. He is he is such a jerk, and he's such a dick. He's just, my people will die without thinking, and we don't care about you, and we are gonna fuck you up, and we're taking Earth, and like he was that rhetoric. He was that figurehead. You didn't like the people that you were essentially killing because of him and his rhetoric.
It definitely wasn't over when you dealt with him.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, I felt like you dealt with him. Me neither. I just felt like it was kind of a weird moment, because normally in a Call of Duty game that would kind of be it.
Yeah, that would be the end.
Took out the bad guy, and that's kind of the end of it. Like, all right, cool, we're moving on to the next game now. Whereas this, it was like, okay, well, now we've dealt with him. Now let's actually go deal with the actual problem. He was just a small part of it, more or less. And I thought that was interesting. But great game. Great single player. I would, if you're only going to pick the game up for single player,
I think it's on sale everywhere now.
Pick it up on sale and play it. It's worth a playthrough. I really enjoyed the single player.
If you like the Call of Duty games mixed with some sci-fi, I can't recommend it enough. I loved it.
If you enjoyed the last two with Advanced Warfare and what was the last one?
Black
Ops 3. I feel like if you liked those two games, I don't know. I think that this game just sort of takes that next step.
Yeah, it's even
at least from a single player perspective. Better. Yeah, so
it's too bad the multiplayer sucked. Like, zombies is good, but the multiplayer, I don't know. I think Call of Duty needs to move their multiplayer to a platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think like from here on out, it's kind of like the multiplayer is a separate thing than the single player?
Kind of like a Dota 2. Or like any multiplayer. Not like a Dota 2, but I mean like, what is Black Ops? It's Black Ops 2 is the most popular Call of Duty multiplayer right now, still, isn't it? I think. Really? Currently? I think it is. Yeah, I know. That's weird, because I never fucking played it.
Wow.
But I think it's the one that's played at most tournaments. I think it's got the biggest player base. It's the one most people are happy with. I could be totally off base here, but I think that's what they got to do. They got to kind of either scrap them all. They've got the numbers, figure out what mode or version of multiplayer was the most popular, bring a new version of that, and then that's the multiplayer that comes out with the next 2, 3, 4 Call of Duties, so that they're not splitting the player base. And then whenever...
So then do they just iterate?
Yeah, they iterate. So like every year, you get the new campaign, and then you get the new map pack for the already established super popular multiplayer mode. Here's new maps, new weapons, new version changes and tweaks for competitive play, right?
But then, sort of like instead of it would almost be like seasons then.
Yeah, exactly.
You're thinking like every year the new single player campaign comes out, and it comes out alongside season 4 or season 5.
Exactly. And then you just have your whole player base doesn't shrink and disappear every year, and or get upset about they don't like this one or they don't like that one. And then that version of multiplayer can last a few years and have some legs, and they can, it really blows up, or, and then they have a new version that lasts 3 or 4 years, as opposed to a new multiplayer I don't know. I feel like they need to move to some kind of thing like that, but who knows? I
think that's actually a really good idea, and I think that they could probably do that if they sold it.
I think they would make separately. I think they would make even more money.
Well, because I know what was it? Advanced? Was it Advanced Warfare or Modern? It might have been the last one, actually. They sold the multiplayer by itself. You could buy the multiplayer only for $20 or whatever it was, $30 versus $50 for the whole thing.
You sure about that?
I'm positive, because
maybe on PC.
Your brother-in-law bought it on PC that way.
Maybe on PC. I don't think the consoles ever did that.
Because I know him and I played it together, and he never paid for the full.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'm positive, because like I said, your brother-in-law Vert, he bought it like that.
Oh, you're talking about...
It was called like the starter edition or whatever it was called.
I forget that you're best friends with my other brother-in-law. I thought you were talking about Teacup. No, I thought you were talking about Trevor, and I'm like, no, Trevor. I'm like, Trevor bought the game. And I'm like, you're weird.
No, I'm talking about Vert. He's got it, and I think it was like they called it the starter edition or something like that, and it's just the multiplayer. It doesn't have the single player.
Which one was that?
I want to say it was either... I want to say it was Advanced Warfare. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's so many Call of Duties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was either that one or the one after it. It was either that one or Black Ops 3, but I'm pretty sure it was that one.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 multiplayer starter pack.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty 3 multiplayer starter pack. No, that's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't see. I'm just looking on Steam. That's where I'm getting this from.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Looks like the only one I can see is Black Ops. No, it's Black Ops 3.
Okay, there. That's the one then.
$18.99.
Yeah, and this is just the multiplayer.
The multiplayer only version of Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know they do that. Maybe Black Ops 3 is the popular one, and I said 2 by accident.
I feel like there's still a strange amount of people playing.
Because I think 3 and 2 are very similar still, right?
I think so.
In terms of the multiplayer, it was the Infinite Warfare that was different. I don't know. I don't fucking play it. I haven't played multiplayer Call of Duty until Modern Warfare 2, and I know I played hundreds of hours of that. According to
for me, it was Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare. Yeah,
by far the most.
Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2. I know Modern Warfare. I think it was like 400 hours on Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's probably similar to what I was at for that one.
The problem with the remastered version replaces the old version, which is kind of lame. Because I can't see it in my Steam thing.
Oh, does it actually replace it?
I don't know.
No, it's...
Why is it all in a weird order here? They're totally going off. People are like, what the f? You guys are fucking idiots. This is good. This is a really good radio. Really good podcast for everyone. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Modern War... Yeah, see... Where the fuck did Modern Warfare go? That's retarded. Sorry, I didn't mean to use that word. That's not proper. Yeah, Modern Warfare Remastered has replayed Modern Warfare in my Steam library.
In your Steam library?
So I can't see the hours on that. I can see my multiplayer on Modern Warfare 2 is 153 hours. I think on Modern Warfare, I think I was in the 400s.
Yeah, I played...
That was definitely one we played a fucking lot of.
Yeah, Modern Warfare was the one that I played probably the most of out of the Call of Duties by far.
Yeah, we played a shitload. That was our game. We used to go... We played online on our boys' night. We also played it... My one friend... well, he wasn't my friend. He was an acquaintance from ball hockey. Ewan, he had like a... Yeah, a lot of...
Game room set up?
Yeah, he had a lot of disposable income. And he had like 12 like high-end gaming PCs. And like,
oh, that's sweet.
And like 12 copies of like every shooter.
So in other words, he had a LAN set up.
Yeah, he had
in his garage.
He had a LAN at his house, and
That's
we
sweet.
would go there. We went for a good time frame. We went there once a week and played for like hours on end. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was so cool because we're all in the same room, just playing with each other. Dedicated server, and then eventually, when it wasn't dedicated server, we had to play online. But whatever, it didn't matter. It was pretty sick.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we played a shit ton of that game. But like, see, that was the same multiplayer essentially for like 3 games straight, right? So hence,
yeah, they kept the same feel.
Yeah,
right?
like because Modern Warfare 2 and 3, they were all the same.
Yeah,
you know, they tweaked and
felt
added
very
stuff,
similar.
But every other version has been like new multiplayer, like they're totally different. This one's crazy double jumps. This one's not. You know, there's like, this one has the classes, this one doesn't. And I don't know. I think it's weird. But
for me, I think what ended up happening was if I wanted that super fast, hectic, running along the walls multiplayer, I would just go play Titanfall or Titanfall 2.
Because it just does it better.
Exactly. And if I want to play more of that slower type multiplayer, I go play Battlefield 1. You know. If I want the team-based, then I go play Overwatch.
Yeah.
Which is what I played on Sunday.
I was going to say, you played...
I checked out that new game mode, the new co-op mode on Sunday. Vert and I were playing for a few hours. It's really cool. I feel like if they expanded that idea onto multiple maps, it would be a blast. Because it's essentially, there's one map right now. It's King's Row. There's a couple different game modes. One of them allows you to pick four people to pick any 4 characters that they want out of the roster. And the other mode, there is only, what is it? It's Reinhardt, Torbjorn, Tracer, and who's the other person that outputs damage? Anyways, there's one other character that they allow you to play, and you can play as those 4 characters, and that's it. So as soon as you get into the match, everybody's trying to grab whatever character they're trying to grab. Oh, Mercy is the other one, a healer. And it's a co-op. It's you start at one side of the map. There's a little bit of a story. If you want to watch it at the beginning, you can. If you've already watched it, then you can skip it. And then they drops the 4 of you into that, and you have to run towards an area. It starts off, you have to essentially hack a couple of nodes. And so you got to set up shop at these different nodes, and while you're hacking the nodes, there's a little timer that runs down. And of course, enemies will come at you in waves. They're just AI enemies. And you got to kill them all, and obviously move on to the next node once that one's hacked. And then once you get to a certain point, you have to protect a payload as it goes through King's Row from one point to another. And if at any point the payload gets destroyed, then you guys lose. And there's no respawning. But if you do go down, a character can come over to you and more or less revive you. So ultimately, if all of you on the team go down, then there's nobody left to revive anybody else, and you all die. And if your teammates take too long to revive you, you also will go down and be out permanently as well. There's normal mode, and then there's also hard mode. So there's a couple of different modes, and like I said, a couple of different styles to play it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it ends with once you get the payload from one area to another, it opens up another area, and there's essentially like 4 boss type characters.
Oh, cool.
That you have to kill, mixed in with a whole bunch of other sort of side characters that are also coming at you as well.
Is it limited time thing, or is it like going to be permanent mode?
No, it's a limited time thing, like some of their other
try it.
ones. It's cool. It's really fun.
Is it better than the Halloween event they had?
I mean, the Halloween event was essentially capture the flag, right?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of the...
You're thinking of the chicken fucker thing mode they had.
I was thinking of the... Sorry, that was their
New Year's,
Chinese New Year. Their New Year's one.
That was capture the flag. I actually never played that.
That's funny. I don't actually know if I played
Junkenstein's?
I don't think I played the Halloween one, actually.
Yeah, that one was just wave-based, and then after a certain amount of waves... like Reaper would spawn in as a mini boss, and then Roadhog.
Oh, that one was more like horde mode.
Yeah, sort of. But yeah, this one, it was not a huge area. You weren't pushing forward. You were just you were defending a gate. It was almost like a tower defense.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is like a little bit like that mixed with some objective-based team.
Seems like it's kind of teaching people how to use or move the fucking payload instead of being idiots.
Yep, there's definitely some of that, which is good.
That's always a big meme in Overwatch. People who don't stand by the payload.
Yeah. It was fun though, man. Like we played a few matches of the normal.
I gotta try it.
We tried a few matches on hard, got our ass kicked.
And you get like a loot box, like what, every 3 games or something? Like it's got like a separate progression.
Each day that you play is if you play one of the modes. So if you play any character, you'll get a loot box, and if you play another match and win of the regular mode, you'll get one and you'll get a loot box. And I believe if you play it on hard, I think there's a hard mode in both of those other ones. You can also get a loot box for the for the current one.
You can get up to 3.
Yeah.
A day.
I think it's like 3 loot boxes or 4 loot boxes a day or whatever it is.
Uprising, that's the mode.
Yeah. No, it's fun. Cool. It was cool. Like it kind of makes you wish that they would do similar things like that with more maps. Because that was the only downside, is that after a while we were kind of sitting there going like, oh man, if they had more maps, this would be a lot of fun to keep playing.
I think
so.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Oh well, yeah. Tell me for shit. I have this weekend to play.
There you go.
It's that's
fun.
the thing though. Like that's the cool thing about Overwatch is you buy it and you get all this stuff.
Yep.
Every player is there. There's no split player base. It's just the cosmetic shit that you buy. They do it so well. God, Blizzard is just... That's why they're so good at this thing. They do.
The only thing I wish is that if you were picking up loot boxes, that you had a better way of seeing what the hell was in them.
Oh, like drop rates and stuff?
Well, I just mean, like if you're spending real money, there's a good chance that you'll get dupes in the loot boxes, right? Which is annoying. Like it does turn into coins or gold or whatever that you can use to purchase the cosmetics that you want.
Yeah.
But it's still that whole thing where, you've spent real money and then you bought 3 or 4 loot boxes hoping to get some cool shit, and it turns out that you either got a bunch of stuff that is kind of useless or shitty.
Yeah.
And you didn't get anything that you actually wanted, but you spent real money, and it just leaves you feeling kind of like, eh.
Can't make you feel any worse than spending money on that stupid mobile game that I'm not going to even mention. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as that one.
No,
I've gotten lots of cool shit in Overwatch in loot boxes, and I've never spent a cent.
I have not either yet on that game. So
I don't feel like I need to because I get a decent reward every once in a while. Sweet. God damn it! Now I got to play that shit.
Yeah, man, get on it.
Too many goddamn games. Too little time.
I mean, that one's going away. So
yeah, I know that one is going away. I've got like 5 days left. 4 days left. There you go.
Got to get on it.
I think that's it for what you've been playing. We can get into the news. Not a lot of news. So shouldn't be too long. Namco Bandai had a reveal of their next game coming out in 2018 called Code Vein. It's a vampire action RPG, which basically kind of looks like a Bloodborne crossed with a vampire anime.
I'm not gonna lie, this looks so cool.
Oh yeah, it looks freaking awesome. It looks
really neat. If they do this right, I will be all over this. If they do
fantastic.
this wrong, I will be so disappointed.
The screenshots and stuff look fantastic that they're showing here as a wicked art. Yeah, it's literally vampire sci-fi sort of steampunky vampire
in the future, and like some bad shit's happened, and you're playing as like a vampire, and then there's other crazy people that have been taken over. Because apparently if you don't essentially feed properly, then you turn into like a blood-sucking crazy person who's like, you kind of transform into something bad.
And it looks like it takes a lot of its gameplay direction from like Dark Souls and Neo and these games that are really popular right now, that's fine by me.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. It's like they're mixing this technology with the kind of the supernatural in a kind of a crazy way. Like I'm looking at some of these vampires almost look mechanical, not just purely.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Very unique.
We know
look.
Not a whole lot about it right now. They're saying like
it's next year, but I guess it was kind of like, hey, this is what we're doing next.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think somebody leaked it and they just decided, you know what, we're just going to get out ahead of this thing and let people know about it.
Yeah. Looks cool. So, I'm sure it'll be at E3.
Yeah.
This was a cool story. We're always talking about really shitty stories on the internet with asshole trolls ruining people's lives. And there's this kid. He's a disabled streamer, and he plays CSGO. He can't speak very well.
He's legally blind and deaf.
Yes, and he's going through surgeries. He's got some genetic condition which has made him lose teeth, so he doesn't speak. But playing Counter-Strike, some people feel like you should be talking and strategizing, otherwise they kick you. But they made, before that happened, he got in the game and was like, hey, I can't speak, I will talk through chat. And they didn't feel like he was contributing. They made fun of him, and then they booted him. And he did this while he was streaming. And I don't know who started it or how it really got picked up, but it just turned out a bunch of people watching him started donating him a bunch of money. A big streamer caught him, I guess, saw this happen and joined the stream, and a bunch of people joined in, and I think he was being watched by literally a few people and shot up to 5,000 people watching him, and then the donations just started rolling in, and he literally had a breakdown on the show because all the people that are on his stream of all the people that started donating to him. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's kind of cool, happy story for once, as opposed to all the asshole internet stories.
It just goes to show that every once in a while, the right people and the right time, and the internet doesn't suck, and it can be used for good. It can be
pretty awesome. I think some streaming site even said, hey, we want you to stream with us. Offered him a streaming partnership, which is like a CSGO esports team, which is pretty cool. So, and this kid's 17, so this is pretty awesome. He's going through a bunch of shit, right?
Absolutely.
Freaking people bullying him, F off. So that's where this is one of those stories where being a troll backfired, whereas this kid literally won the internet nerd lottery.
Absolutely. And
I think a lot of the money that he's going to get is going to help with some of his bills for his surgery and shit that he has to get done.
Yeah, it sounds like it. He's trying to get to Southern California to do an eye surgery that he needs. So
that's awesome.
Super cool. Yeah,
I saw that and I thought it was kind of cool.
No, absolutely. I love stuff like this.
We've been talking about too much crap on the internet that makes us all upset and pissed off.
Yeah. Adam Loop Barres. So apparently he was with his parents in Algeria overseas when he got hooked on Counter-Strike Geo. Yeah, this is super cool. I wish him all the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of Twitch, by the time this podcast is rolled out, this is gone live. This is rolled out. They're expanding their affiliate program to help streamers who aren't partnered to earn revenue.
Right.
It's going out in phases. At first, it's essentially like their tip system is kind of opening up for broadcasters. And then, they're going to be adding a lot of the features that partners even have to affiliates. So
right.
It basically is going to help smaller streamers grow and or give them the incentive to keep streaming and keep up with it. And or you could possibly be doing okay as a small streamer because you're going to have more revenue streams available to you, as where before you only had tips essentially if you weren't partnered, because you couldn't get subscriptions. You couldn't get some of the other stuff that Twitch does, like the game sales stuff.
Right.
And you don't get the ads for ad revenue, so depending on how many viewers and so forth. So that's really cool. It's not available, but it's pretty cool though. And I'm looking at the requirements, at least right now, because they're saying like, look, we're probably going to change this over time as the program develops, but at least at launch, it says they'll be inviting non-partnered streamers who have at least 500 total minutes broadcast in the last 30 days, at least 7 unique broadcast days in the last 30 days, an average of 3 concurrent viewers or more over the last 30 days, and at least 50 followers. Man, we could become an affiliate.
I definitely do not broadcast nearly enough for that, but
our Twitch account could be an affiliate if we start doing the podcast, because we have over 50 subscribers.
There you go.
I don't know how many we have. I
don't know. I haven't been on our page in a while.
Yeah, I know we have more than 50. That's for sure.
So, but it's cool. There's sort of a 3-tier system now where there's all streamers, anybody can stream, not a big deal. Twitch affiliates now, you get kind of some of the stuff that can help out, like you said.
For sure.
You're not a full on.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel that makes you go like, as opposed to you could have 50 people watching you and you're making no money. Right.
Yep.
And this at least.
And I mean, ultimately, there's some people that don't care about that, but then there's other people that are trying to get into that, and it definitely helps those people. I think it's cool.
Well, you don't know who the next great streamer is if he decides to quit before he gets popular.
Yeah.
Because there's a big barrier to entry. We've talked about this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, that's cool. Hey, anything people can make more money from, it's all good by me. No one's getting hurt.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite gets release date September 19th. They also announced some new characters. There was a new trailer, as well as they unveiled like the crazy, not crazy, a collector's edition that comes with a bunch.
$200? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it comes with some really cool figures, and then the Infinity Stones, which is kind of neat. $200, and it doesn't even come with the game.
Wait, are you serious? No,
I think so.
No, it has to.
Or no, there's a version with just the collector's edition stuff, like the figures and shit, that doesn't come with the game. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, $200. I think it does come with the game. Anyway. I like the fighting games. I don't know if I'm going to pick this up. I probably will. I'm a sucker.
This feels weird not having the X-Men in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. not having Wolverine and not having some of those characters feels real weird.
It is really weird because, man,
Magneto,
X-Men versus
Wolverine,
Street Fighter,
Storm. I mean, those were
Berserker
characters that I played a lot.
Berserker Barrage with Wolverine, like, that's fucking classic, man. It is weird, but this is the world we live in, and Fox fucked everything up. So, actually, Marvel fucked it up. It's all their fault.
I was gonna say that was definitely Marvel that did that.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Did you end up seeing Logan? I can't remember. Did we talk about it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
God, fucking damn it.
I know.
Ugh.
I'm a bad geek.
The one thing that sucks is when we're in Hawaii, Guardians 2 comes out. Pretty sure we're not going to be going to the theater while we're in Hawaii, so...
Yeah.
We talked about the leaks of Call of Duty last week. Call of Duty WW2, WW2, World War II.
We did.
Today they had a trailer that they released, had a little mini event, announced the release date, teased modes, yada yada. November 3rd. The trailer looks...
PC, Xbox One, PS4, the usual suspects.
Yeah, the trailer looks pretty freaking rad. They got some big name actors doing some voice acting, motion capture in there. What's his name? Is it Josh Duhamel? What's the guy, the army guy from Transformers?
Josh Jamal.
Is that who it is?
I believe so.
Is that the one that's in the Transformers movies?
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. It's Timothy Oliphant's a different guy that was in Hitman.
Yeah.
But they're kind of,
he was the guy from
You can
Hitman.
mix those two up for some reason. I don't know. Or at least I do.
I do the same thing.
So he's one of the main characters in it. Trailer looks cool. In the event, they teased, there's this, apparently there's like a co-op campaign, the Nazi zombie co-op campaign. And there's like a multiplayer. They teased this multiplayer like lobby mode for like a split second, where it showed like all these players like in an army base kind of. I don't know if that's like where you meet up and go into game modes or if it's a lobby. They literally showed it for like 2 seconds, but you can see all the names of all the players in like a allied base all over like hundreds of them. Has Sledgehammer done a zombie mode before? I don't know if they have.
I'm not sure. The last game those guys did was Advanced Warfare, right?
It's literally really going back to old school Call of Duty, man.
The original Call of Duty,
where it all started.
World War II,
D-Day, storming Normandy, saving Private Ryan. We've all been here before, but not with wicked ass amazing graphics. That's for sure.
See, I watched this and very pretty. Don't get me wrong; it's very pretty. The graphics and everything look very pretty. But I watched the trailer and it didn't inspire me. It didn't make me want to go out and buy this right away.
Yeah,
I was more excited about Infinite Warfare than I was about this. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
It looks awesome. I'm sure it's going to be a good game. It's kind of hard because
the whole time I was sort of thinking, man, this looks a lot like Battlefield 1.
Yeah, or we've been here before.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I like it's the first trailer and they didn't really show a lot. It was like super story driven.
Yeah.
It was like some cutscenes and some of this and some of that. It wasn't really gameplay, so
it's gameplay cut in with cinematic angles, right? So it's hard to tell, to get a feel of the actual game. I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. I like zombie mode, so that's kind of cool. I like co-op campaigns. That's cool.
I do like co-op campaigns. And that's pretty sweet.
It is. We have had a lot of futuristic shooters too, so yeah, it will be nice in terms of a change of pace. But at the same time, we got to a point with World War shooters where we were fucking burnt out. and it's gonna be weird missing our red sights and freaking fancy ass weapons that we've gotten so used to.
Hey man, as long as Titanfall keeps pushing forward with the cool sci-fi universes and Destiny, and we've got kind of more of a balance, then I'm down. I'm cool with that.
True. If you remember a few weeks ago when Persona 5 came out, we were talking about how Atlas was like super ridiculous about their streaming restrictions and flagging people with copyright strikes on YouTube. They have apologized. And they have extended how far in the game you can stream up until like the end, the final act. Still kind of weird, but I think you can stream a bunch of that game now without fear of getting nailed on YouTube or anything. So, which is pretty dumb, but whatever. A little update.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
I did want to point out, for those of us that are old enough to remember, they're bringing back a remastered version of Night Trap.
Oh, yes. I heard about that.
To the PS4 and Xbox One.
I never played it. That was Sega CD, right?
Yes.
Full motion video.
It was an FMV game. Yeah. Very controversial back in the 90s when it came out.
It's really bad, too. I don't think it's a good game.
It does not look like a good game. I don't know why this is a thing, but it is happening. So if you were curious about that and you want to spend the money, apparently they're even going to produce a limited run of physical copies.
Limited run that I will not touch.
Me neither.
I didn't play it back then. I won't play it now. So bad.
Me neither.
But I guess if you like that game,
that's a weird thing. That's the world we live in, I guess. I don't know.
Cool. That's it for news. Public service announcements. May and Xbox and PlayStation's May games have been announced. So Xbox games with gold for May. Xbox One, Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which that's a pretty cool game. Those are the Xbox One native games, and then Xbox 360 games, which are backwards compatible. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, that's pretty cool. I like the Star Wars Lego games. Those are fun.
I'm actually really excited about this lineup. I actually want to play all of those games.
I can't remember if
Gianna Sisters games look super good. They're like a platformer that are supposed to be quite good. I played a bit of the Lara Croft Temple of Osiris. Great co-op game. Never played The Force Unleashed 2 because I heard it was terrible.
I started it. I don't think I
kind of want to play it. So I'll probably mess around a bit with that. And I mean, the Star Wars Complete Saga Lego Star Wars is dope, and that's just a lot of fun. So hell yeah.
Tomb Raider looks like a 4-player dual stick puzzle action shooter?
Yep. That you can be played up to 4-player co-op.
It looks really cool. I've played, I don't know if I can't remember if I beat Unleashed 2. I know I started it, but I can't remember if I beat it or not.
Yeah, I beat the first one, and overall it was an okay game with some terrible
cool
level
premise.
design. Yeah. So.
Not a bad lineup.
No, I think it's a pretty solid lineup.
PlayStation Plus free games for May are Tales from the Borderlands, which is a Telltale game adventure series in the Telltale format, based in Borderlands, the world of Borderlands. Mm-hmm. I've heard really good things about it. I have it on PC, never got around to play it. Maybe I'll actually play it on PS4. These are the guys who have done the Walking Dead games, so if you like those games, it's in that vein of those old school point and click adventure games. Apparently, the story is really cool in this and has some really awesome characters. Good voice acting. It's like Troy Baker, stuff like people like that.
Right.
If you're not familiar with that name, that's like Sam from
The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's Joel from Last of Us. Sam from Uncharted 4.
Exactly.
Jesus, he's voiced so many freaking characters.
He played the Joker in the last Batman game.
He was the main character in BioShock Infinite. Yeah, he's like well known. Anyway,
yes.
I've heard good things about that game. Abzu is an indie game on PS4. It's supposed to be all right. Came out, I think, last summer.
It's made by the same guys that did Flower and what was that other game that they did? The one where you're more or less like you start off as like a single organism and you slowly eat the other organisms and you get bigger and bigger and bigger.
God damn it, I can't remember. That was like a launch PS3 game.
Yeah, exactly. It's from those guys. Is that the same studio that did... I just had a total brain fart.
Are you thinking of Journey?
Yeah, I was. But I'm not sure if it's the same one.
I don't think so.
I just know that a lot of people have talked about Abzu and it being a really incredible experience.
I'm watching the little trailer here.
So, it's kind of like an underwater game, almost a little bit like you're scuba diving. You're cruising down underneath the water. Supposed to be really serene and really cool.
Yeah, that game, people like that game as well.
Yeah. Then we've got Blood Knights coming out on the PS3, as well as Port Royale 3, Pirates and Merchants on the PS3. And then we've got a Laser Disco Defenders for PlayStation Vita, which is crossplay with PS4. And Type Rider, PS Vita, as well as crossplay on PS4 as well.
So those last four, all throwaway. I've never heard of them ever before.
I want to say I've heard of Blood Knights.
I know the first two titles are good, though. So those are your May PlayStation Plus free games. Heroes of the...
Blood Knights looks kind of like a little bit of a Diablo-esque type game, where it's that isometric RPG style. Actually, it looks like it might not be all right. Terrible. I don't know how well it reviewed, but it's an action role-playing RPG.
Hey, it's free.
There you go.
I will not play it.
I probably won't either.
Heroes of the Storm is celebrating their 2.0 update. We talked about Heroes of the Storm quite a bit last year when it first launched. I think me and my buddies were pretty addicted to it, playing it a lot. Now,
you played it a ton.
Oh yeah, we played it a ton, and then we kind of fell out because it was the same problem with like League of Legends and Dota. You get to a point where you start playing really good people, and it starts
is less fun.
It starts not. Yeah, you realize you're not a pro MOBA team, and it becomes not fun. It becomes you want to kill the people you're playing with.
Yeah.
So we got to that point, and man, it's a great game. I really liked it. But anyway, 2.0 update is out, and to celebrate, they're giving everybody who logs in after April 25th, which is after the time or when this podcast comes out. They're giving you enough gems to buy these mega bundles. So they've created 4 bundles, which essentially is you can purchase basically or unlock 20 characters. They have like an assassin bundle,
which is huge,
a flex bundle, the support and specialist bundle, and tanks and bruisers bundle. And there's some overlap between some of the bundles because there's I don't know how many characters there are now in Heroes. I want to say upwards of 50 or something.
I don't know. It's been a long time actually.
There's a lot.
To be honest, since
they've been adding
tons
of characters. I think they just added, or Diva just came out. I have a lot of assassins. I was looking at, and I'm like, I have like probably more than half of these characters, so I'll probably end up buying one of the other ones. So if you were thinking about trying Heroes of the Storm, well, now's as good a time as any because you're going to get a shitload of characters. Of course, it's a free-to-play game. You don't have to buy any characters. It's the same thing as Overwatch. Well, except that Overwatch is a retail game. You can earn currency to unlock all the characters and unlock all the skins and so forth. So you could essentially unlock everything in this game just by playing. But
I wonder how long that would actually take
to unlock 20 characters.
Well, no, I mean all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it would take a really long time.
There's a lot of characters now. Man.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Since the last time I played, they've added a lot.
They've been adding tons. We've been talking about it less because I'm not actively playing it. Because I know when we were deep in, I was talking about new characters all the time on the podcast. But if you don't play it, you don't care. And people who don't,
there's 65 characters now.
Yeah, that's a lot more than that's probably 20 plus or more than when they started.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's, I don't know. I don't have anything for free for all. That's it for our public service announcements.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything to add that I can think of. Pick up Mario Kart 8. Hit me up on Twitter and send me your freaking friend code so we could play online. So I could freaking kick your ass at Mario Kart because I'm a boss.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. I didn't even think to play online. Yeah,
it's still up in the air whether we do a podcast next week. We'll try our darndest, but if we don't, I apologize in advance. And if we do, then you're going to be in for a pleasant surprise.
Ooh.
You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
And you can always come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. It's all just under Geekoholics. And of course, rate us on your iTunes if you have it available. It takes 2 seconds, helps us get new listeners and or any podcasting services out there. And of course, we appreciate you for listening and new listeners for checking us out. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I think this month we've had our most amount of listeners in our history. So,
yay to new listeners.
Yeah. We ain't quitting.
Bring your friends. Come hang out. There will be many, many more.
We ain't quitting our jobs anytime soon, but it's cool. I like seeing growth. That's awesome. So thanks to everybody. We appreciate it. Until next week, I'm going to say we are out.
Later.
Peace.